Let's rank every Jennifer Lynn Barnes book that I've read. Jennifer Lynn Barnes has written a lot of books. She has her very popular series, The Inheritance Games, and another very popular one, The Naturals. And out of all of her books, I believe I have read 17 of them. I'm currently on a mission to read as many of them as I can. Let's rank the ones that I've read so far. Now on the bottom are going to be two books that I actually don't own. One of them I'm still currently reading, so it could get better, but usually I'm very motivated to pick up her books. This one I am just not motivated to read, and so on the bottom in last place, 17th place, it is going to be Nobody. This is a very not popular book by her. I haven't really seen a lot of people who read it, but it's basically about these two teens who are like kind of invisible to society. The premise of it is really cool. I'm just not motivated at all to pick it up, and it's very, very insta-lovey, and I don't like that. Next in 16th place is another book that I also don't have, but this is Perfect Cover. And Perfect Cover is kind of about like spy cheerleaders, and it could have been a very, very good book. Some of the content in it I just didn't like. There was a lot of like sexual innuendos and unnecessary language, just a lot of stuff like that. I didn't like it. It felt kind of uncomfortable, and so I would rank that in 16th place. I will read the second book because, like I said, I want to try and read every book that Jennifer Lynn Barnes has written because she's one of my favorite authors, but I just really did not like these two books. Now, out of every book I've read of hers, these are the only two that I really didn't like. The next books are all it's kind of hard to rank them because I did really like all of her other series. But in 15th place, we have The Same Backwards as Forwards. It's not that I didn't like this book, it's that I felt like it wasn't super necessary. Now, it could have been more necessary if Hannah's story wasn't already in Games Untold, but her story, half of this book, is already in this book. We didn't need it again in here. And because Hannah and Toby are together, like physically in the same place for the whole book, most of the book anyway, I wasn't super motivated to read the second half of the book because it's the exact same events as the first half, just from his perspective. So all in all, this book was okay. I think it's a cool concept, how you read her half and then you read his half, but I just didn't like it particularly that much. Next we have Games Untold in 14th place, and this was a really good book. I really enjoyed it. I didn't love all of the stories in it, but I thought a lot of them were really fun, and it was just cool to see random little things about the characters that we love from the original series. So it was good. I just didn't love it as much as the other books. And next place, we have the Grandest Game series, and I don't know exactly what order to rank these in. I have not read The Gilded Blade yet, but based on how I felt about these two, I can safely say it's not going to be way up here. Because I much preferred her other books that she's written. Just because I haven't read it yet, I'm going to put it at the bottom of the stack, but it could move up. I just don't know how it's going to be yet. I'm including it in this ranking anyway, because I feel like it's not going to be that different than these first two books, if that makes sense. I think I'm going to put The Grandest Game next in 12th place, I think we're at. I really liked this book, and honestly, it's kind of neck and neck with Glorious Rivals, but Glorious Rivals did add Grayson's perspective, and so that's why I think I'm going to rank it higher, because I really do like Grayson as a character. After that, I think we're going to put The Final Gambit in 11th place. Now, I really, really liked this book. I love the original Inheritance Games trilogy. However, this book was extraordinarily confusing. If you asked me what happened in this, I honestly could not tell you. It was so confusing, specifically the part about like all the family stuff and the family tree. It was a good book, but I was just not prepared for everything that was going to happen in this book, because a lot of stuff happened, but I don't remember any of it. So we're going to put it here. I do remember liking it. It was just very confusing and a lot happened. Now, next, I forgot what place we're in. I don't have the physical copy right now because I lent it out to a friend, but next it's going to be Killer Instinct. And I really liked this book, of course. I love the Natural series. I liked it better than the original Inheritance Games trilogy. So I love the Naturals, but that specific book I just didn't like as much, I don't think, because Michael is not my favorite character. I like Michael, don't get me wrong. It's the second book that was more centered around Michael, and as much as I love him, I like the other characters more. So we're gonna put Killer Instinct here. Next we have the Brothers Hawthorne, and I really liked this one. I really liked getting to see more of Grayson and Jameson and their respective stories, and how these stories led into the Grandest Game series. Now, I know a lot of people didn't like this book. Personally, I disagree with that. I really enjoyed it. Is it as good as the original series? No, it's not. It was also very different to get into because it's written in third person instead of first person like the original series. I really liked this book. I was very invested in both of their stories. I don't remember exactly what each of them were now because it's been a couple years since I read this one, but I remember really, really liking it. Like, you would be reading one of their perspectives and then it would end on a giant cliffhanger and you'd just be like, I can't wait for the next chapter about them. But then you'd have to read like the other one chapter before that, but then there'd be a cliffhanger at the end of that chapter and you'd just be like, wait, but now I want the answer to this. And so it keeps like going, and like every chapter ends on cliffhangers and you're constantly wanting like the next POV. So this was a really fast read and I really liked it. I think next we're going to put The Ruling Class. This book was really, really good. I mean, I've said that about every book. Not a lot of people have read this book. This is not very popular within all the Jennifer Lynn Barnes books. Now, I will say there is a definite line between her old books and her new books. So, for instance, the two books that I put on the bottom that I didn't like, Perfect Cover and Nobody, they were all old books that she had written. She kind of became popular, I think, with the Inheritance Game series it was, because that's when her writing got really, really good. Now, The Ruling Class, I feel like, was actually the start of it, just nobody discovered her until the Inheritance Games because that's what got really popular. But her writing got way better in The Ruling Class, and from what I've read of her so far, that's where the shift has happened for me. I don't remember when she wrote Nobody and Perfect Cover, but I'm guessing based on the writing style that she wrote them before this book. I'm gonna have to do some research on this after to see when she wrote them, but her writing style definitely shifts in here, and it gets a lot better. And so I loved this book. I read it in like 2 days, and I really think it deserves more hype because it is so good. Now, the next book is going to be The Hawthorne Legacy. I'm not sure if this one should be up here or if it should be below The Ruling Class. I don't know. It's honestly been a couple of years since I've read the original Inheritance Games trilogy, so I'm kind of going based off of how much I remember liking it because I don't remember a lot that happened in the original trilogy. But I think we're gonna put it here. Next is going to be The Naturals. I loved the Naturals series. I think I read this book in a day. That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's really good. If you haven't read The Naturals, go read it. It is pretty gory, I will say that, because there are chapters that are from the perspective of a serial killer. So if you're not into that stuff, I would avoid this series. But if it sounds interesting to you, I would definitely give it a try because it's really, really good. Above that, I'm going to put Lessons in Power, and this is the book that comes after The Ruling Class. I do think it was better than the first. The first was really, really good, but this one, like, had my hands sweating as I was reading it. Like, it's very intense, and not a lot of books can keep me glued to the page as much as this one did. Now, the only reason this isn't higher is because books that come later on in series, I get more attached to and I like better because you're more attached to the characters by then. And because this is only the second book and only ever will be the second book because I don't think she's writing more books, I think it's just going to stay a duology, which I'm mad about, by the way. I want another book. So because of that, I'm just going to put it here because I want to be a little bit more connected to the characters. Now, all of that feels pretty hypocritical because I'm putting the Inheritance Games above it, and that's the first book in a series. However, this goes above it because this is the book that, you know, started it all for me. It started my love of Jennifer Lynn Barnes books, and I remember reading this, and this was one of the first books that I stayed up so late to read. I was so invested in it, I had to know what happened, and yeah, I love this book. Now, next in second place, we have Bad Blood. This is the last book in the Natural series, and the only thing that I wish we got more of in this was Leah's story, because Leah is my second favorite character. Sloane is my first favorite character, and you start to dive into her story here, but it leans away from her story and her background and more into Cassie's thing, you know. And Cassie's the main character, I get it. I just wish we got more of Leah's story. Now, I will say this is definitely a disturbing book. This series is about tracking serial killers and stuff. And so in this book, it does get more into like cult stuff. It's not portrayed as good. I will say that. It is not portrayed as good. It's portrayed as absolutely horrible and terrible. It's a terrible thing. It's not shown to be a good thing in the book at all, but it is disturbing because it shows you how terrible it is and what it does to people. And so it's not like the witchy cult stuff, I wouldn't say, but it's definitely very disturbing. Like, they kill people. Of course, they're serial killers. They kill, they manipulate, they steal, all of terrible stuff. So it's a disturbing book, but it was really well written, and so yeah, I recommend this series a lot, but do your research on the trigger warnings before you read it, because if you go into it unprepared, my mom went into the series unprepared, and she was very disturbed by it. She only read the first book. But if you're kind of aware of what's going to happen and what kind of content is in the books, they're really good. But I wouldn't recommend them to just anyone because of that. And now, at the top of the list, first place, we have All In. And this is the third Naturals book. And I know the covers don't match. I got this one from the library bookstore because it was like $1 there. And so the covers don't match, but it's okay. And so this is the third book in the Naturals series. And this follows Sloane. And this was my favorite, honestly, because Sloane is my favorite character. I love, love, love Sloane. She is my favorite, easily. I could say that a million times. But I thought this was really interesting. It was kind of a different setting than the rest of the books because here we're in Las Vegas. Yeah, this will keep you on the edge of your seat. Honestly, I'm not really sure what else to say. Just go read these books. If you like mysteries, if you like thrillers, if you like books that will keep you wondering what's going to happen next, all of these books have that. Also, bonus, all of them are clean. Now, of course, there's violence, there's some language, and there is romance, but there's no sex, there's no fade to black. That I remember anyway. There may have been like one scene in the original Inheritance game series where it's just like them kissing, but you kind of assume that there was more, but you don't actually know. It's very ambiguous. But yeah, so that's my ranking of all of the Jennifer Lynn Barnes books that I've read so far. And I want to read the rest of them because she does have a couple more duologies and standalones that I want to read. So maybe eventually I'll do an updated ranking, though I'm guessing that like here on up is going to stay the same because all of the other books that she's written are her older books before her writing style kind of improved so much. So I'm thinking those are kind of gonna be like down here. But I'm gonna read them anyways. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you've read any of these or if any of these sounded good and you want to read them now. And let me know what your ranking would be if you've read them as well. Bye, y'all.